Right, so I've just got the head back from the machine shop. You can see we were able to skim a right good amount off it. I think in the end we took 40 thou off the head. It's quite a bit. Yeah, so that'll unfortunately really raise our compression ratio. We were able to get rid of most of the pitting. I tried to get an aluminium welder in to do it and weld the pits up, but I talked to a few people, no one wanted to go near the thing. No one wanted to touch it at all. So we decided to just skim a whole lot of material out of it. The plan is to basically, in order to keep the compression ratio a normal sort of amount, I'm going to come through and take these, the sort of, I don't know what you call it here, just these wee bits where it comes in around the ports to help with the airflow. I'm going to die grind those down. I think first I'll try it with a Dremel and see how long it'll take me, because I'm just worried with the die grind they can skip and I might nick the surface here and then we're really screwed. But most of the surface is really nice now. So I just want to die grind these bits away. The hope is that we'll be able to reduce the compression ratio so we don't bend a rod with running. So originally the engine was an 8:1 compression ratio with the 660cc turbo, and going to the 1 litre has pushed the compression ratio to I think 9.5:1, which is already really high, and then skimming 30 thou off that. I don't know how that's going to affect the compression ratio, but it's bumped it even more. So I'm hoping if we just take all this away, it'll just help reduce it. Obviously it'll probably still be higher than we should be at, but hopefully it's not too bad. Now, speaking to a few people, and they're saying taking these away does add turbulence in, you know, whenever you've got your intake and exhaust going out. But because the car's turbocharged, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. If it was, say, like a really high horsepower NA build, you definitely wouldn't want to do this. But I think for what we're doing, this should be just fine. So I've got a few Dremel bits, just be like grinding stones. I'm just going to start attacking these edges. I'm going to mark out using the gasket where the gasket seals, make sure I don't touch that, and just slowly grind away at this just to try and open it up a wee bit, and hopefully that'll just make sure that we don't, you know, put too high of a compression in the combustion chamber. Yeah, so get the Dremel out, mark this up, and start grinding away. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I got all these just ground down. Just each one. I think if you look at how much we've taken off versus how much came off the head, I really think we've probably taken more out of this than we took skimming it, or we lost skimming it. You can see. Yeah, so you can see sort of no matter how much the gasket moves around, we haven't gone into the sealing area. So this should be all good. I'll need to clean it up tomorrow, but I'm out of time for today. So tomorrow I'll clean the hood because I've just got some metal shavings all over it, and then whack it back in. So you can see it's missing, and put it back in. Woo! Okay, Yeah, so I've got the block cleaned up. Head's been all ground in and cleaned up. It's all skimmed and everything, so it's ready to go back on. All we have to do now is just get this engine back together. So it's pretty much just the reverse of what we did last time. So again, I'm going to see how quickly I can get it done. So it is, yeah, 20 to 6 now. I don't think I'll get it done today if it's anything like last time, so I'm just going to get to work and I'll stop whenever I'm ready to stop. Oh god, I've gone blind. But yeah, just wanted to interrupt the time lapse just to say massive shout out to Dan Summers. Sent me this timing belt cover. So this is off an 850cc one. So that'll fit perfectly on this because it's got the single cam layout. You can see single cam, spot for the tensioner here, but it's got the extra height on it compared to the old 660cc one, so it fits and I don't have to use the one that's cut in half. So you're a legend, thank you. This will be going on then, and I think it's actually in better condition than the 660cc one before I cut it, so that's brilliant. I've gone and got everything back together. It's been raining today, so I've just been doing it without the camera because I'm going to break it. But I put some water in it and we're getting that same issue of it leaking there. Even with the head skimmed and it all. Looking really good. Yeah. I've no idea why. Like, the block is really clean, really flat. The head's just been freshly skimmed. Everything should be perfect. And like, head's tightened down. It's on ARP studs, so it's actually tightened down more than stock. I don't know. I don't know if that metal head gasket's just pure shite. I think I'm going to order a organic one and see, but I'm very fed up. That's really annoying. Just because I couldn't really, because the cooling system goes to the intake, the turbo, and obviously the head, I need to get everything back together before I can fill it with water. And everything was looking perfect until I filled it with water. And then it's just leaking down the side of the block. And it'll probably leak into the cylinders again. Oh, I'm so fed up. Well, I'll just go, I'll order, see if I can even get a composite gasket locally. I've ordered a composite gasket, just one of the normal style ones rather than a metal one. I was reading online, apparently if you don't buy a really good quality metal head gasket, it tends not to work or seal at all. I'd read a few people having a similar issue with different cars, so I'm going to try just the composite one next and just I'll take the car easy. I'll probably put the boost down, order one of those adjustable wastegates and run with it that way. Well, either way, this head's got to come off, so I'll get to work with that. I'm not going to film it this time just because it's exactly the same as before. Yeah, I'm just not going to like pull the manifolds off. Just going to undo the exhaust there, and just pull the whole head off as one big unit. Yeah, so that's all torn apart, and I think I figured out what went wrong. I think it basically all just came down to my own stupidity more than anything. I'll show you here. So I got it off, and you notice it was always leaking around here, and you see how the gasket's all dinged up there. And if we look at the underside of the head, see this? That's all smooshed and crushed. If you look, that's what it should look like. This bit here, I think, has been fouling on that bit of gasket, meaning the gasket can't clamp down properly because it's just hitting against that, which would explain why cylinder number 2 was low on compression, because it literally could not clamp down hard enough. Here, you can see it's actually just messed that up, so I think I'm just going to use tin snips and just cut there, Just to explain, on the original block, actually, none of this was here, so it does make sense. So I just need to cut across that, try and stay away from any of this, and I'll probably file down that there a wee bit, clean everything up, and I'm just going to throw it back together because I think it might actually work if that was gone and sealed properly. So that could be the problem we've been hitting this whole time. So I'll just fucking throw this back together as quickly as I can, and get that fixed, and just to see if it works. So it's only half to at the minute, so I've loads of time. Hopefully it doesn't rain today. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, get that cut, and start throwing it back together. Hopefully this time that's it all sorted. It's been a long journey and a lot of messing around, but it'd be nice to get this thing actually running. Now I got everything back together, but it's still the same. Same old same. So you can see the bit I've actually cut out there, but it's still pouring out. Oh. It's a shame. I thought I'd cracked it there, and so figured out what was going on. But no. Part of me worries that from having that small bit, so it was basically just right where that stud is there, was interfering with the head gasket. And part of me worries maybe I've warped the head, torquing it down with all that in place, but I'll just have to wait, and I'm going to throw the composite gasket in when it arrives, and I'll be sure to cut that wee corner out again. Yeah. So it'll all have to come back out. So it'll be what, the 5th or 6th time I've done this. Luckily, I'm getting quite fast at it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not gonna be that simple. Really thought I found it there, but sure, I'll wait for this gasket to come in and we'll get it sorted. It sounds even better from the outside.